Hello all and welcome back to another wonderful video. Today I am here in Ponytown in front of the 800th to talk about fandoms and fandom maps and overall just sort of mapping the Ponytown map itself. Now, for those that don't know, a fandom map is something very similar to this right here. This is the most recent fandom map that I was able to find, and essentially you just highlight certain areas that are dedicated to specific things or specific fandoms. To put it simply, this labels Minecraft YouTubers here. Those kinds of people hang out in that spot. Anins are labeled here at the docks. Anins hang out at the docks. That's essentially how fandom maps work. Today I am going to be making my own fandom map because every single time I see a fandom map, there seems to be one or two things that are just completely inaccurate to it. I don't know what it is exactly that goes on with that, but that's typically what I tend to find when I look at a fandom map. So today we're going to make our own fandom map, and we're going to start by kind of just talking about general locations that people like to hang out in. For example, we have the 800th. They tend to really love this spot for lining up and stuff like that. You also happen to see a lot of other regiments directly below this spot. Sometimes anyway, sometimes they're not there because sometimes they're doing other things like marching. Like you can see there's like two or three different there's literally two different regiments marching at the same time. That's kind of awesome. And then of course we have the 800th that we're up here. All kinds of different regiments and stuff like that tend to hang out in those two spots. But what you probably don't know is that sometimes species love to hang out in this spot. Different species, I've seen all kinds of different species hang out in this general area here. And then of course if we go down further, we get to a spot that I like to call Billboard Row. Now this whole section from this very edge of the docks all the way to this very edge right here to this little sign right here, I like to call all of that Billboard Row. The reason why I call it Billboard Row is because, as you'll probably see here in a moment, people are constantly essentially advertising either their regiment, their species, some random mini game that they want to do, stuff like that. Like they'll do like boop to do this, boop to do that. For some reason, no one's doing that right now, but generally, if you want to look for something to do, go to Billboard Row. Wait for someone to say boop to join Mafia or boop for Kingdom Roleplay. See, there's boop for Kingdom Roleplay. You can do that and then join them. They'll add you to the party and then you can go to the party on the party boat and stuff like that. That's essentially what Billboard Row is. Just one giant advertisement sector, and that's why I like to call it Billboard Row, because that is essentially what they are, is a bunch of billboards. So if we move on over to the docks, you can see how there is several Anin Phillies. There was actually more here earlier, but generally they can hang out in this whole section of the docks right here, and that is kind of their whole deal. That's what they do. That's where they hang out at. They don't normally go out anywhere else for some reason. So if we move on back up to the top of this world, to the top of this map or whatever like that, you can see that we're passing regiments and stuff like that again. You can see how the more we go this way, the more we can see sort of Minecraft YouTubers stuff, cosplays. As well, you'll see some South Park stuff sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes you'll see them. Generally, just Minecraft stuff in general. What's supposed to be a dream, I guess. You have an Ender Dragon and an Enderman. Bad Boy Halo apparently is a Minecraft YouTuber or something like that, I believe. We have another Dream. We have all kinds of Minecraft YouTubers. They just generally hang out at the very top of the map and just cover up all that space. But there is another spot on the map that I have seen a handful of them hang out at before. I don't know if it's like a backup spot. I kind of assume it's a backup spot because I've seen them there more than once, but who knows. Then of course we have sectors like this, these little fenced in areas. Every single time you see a fenced in area like this, there is most likely going to be a regiment there. If it's not going to be a regiment there, then potentially they will eventually go to this spot. They'll line up in front of the little entrance here. They'll have two people here, and then boom, there'll be a person here, and maybe a person here, maybe a person here. They sort of just surround that little area and they take it over, so to speak. It's almost, we no longer want to commit tax fraud. That's a reference to another video. But anyway, they generally like to hang out in fenced-in areas. I assume it's because of a fort-like mentality, because it's sort of like a fort in a way. But if we continue on our little tour, if we go right up here to this top right corner of the whole map, we of course have another fenced-in area where regiments would probably hang out at. This is of course a carrot farm. And then of course this whole area is sort of occupied by Hell of a Boss and Has-Been Hotel characters and stuff like that. So if you are a fan of Has-Been Hotel or Hell of a Boss and you want to hang out with other people that have a cosplay or other people that are a fan of the show or whatever, you can come here and meet them. They'll be right right here. They'll be right in this little spot. They basically take up this whole little corner. Sometimes there's way more than just these three, but I guess it's a slow day right now. I don't know. If we move directly down, you'll see an anime area. Now, on the fandom map that I just loaded a minute ago, it just lists this as BNHA. I don't know what that anime is exactly, but as you can see, there is Naruto anime characters. Last time I went here, there was an Eren character from Attack on Titan. They're not here right now for some reason, but I've seen them here earlier. Of course, again, we have another Naruto character. I've seen, I'm assuming this is from an anime. I'm not sure what anime it's from, but there's all kinds of different anime characters and stuff like that that like to hang out in this spot. So if you're a fan of anime and you want to talk to other anime enthusiasts, then come to this spot. It's directly above that giant lake. So that is another spot. Let's move on with our tour and continue on. By the way, this is not really a fandom thing, but I do like to call this island Pegasus Island because a long time ago you had to be a Pegasus to be able to even reach this island, but now you can swim, so that's kind of fun. But yeah, as you can see, it's not really a fandom spot. It's just something that I want to mention because it's what I like to call that place. But as you can see here, it's not really anything going on here right now, but this is a big species meeting area. Now, I mentioned earlier that some species like to hang out in that other spot. Sometimes they like to hang out in this spot. Usually when there's some kind of meeting, they like to hang out in this spot. So if there's a species meeting going on, or if you want to see if a species meeting is going on, then come to this spot right here, and you will most likely find one. If not, then you will be able to sort of, I don't know, get in on that later. If we move directly left of that, we'll see this general area, all of this space here. As you can see here, there is Steuben, he's a developer. There was two dev artists. Here's a dev artist. There was another dev artist here earlier, but there's all kinds of devs, all kinds of stuff like that. Sometimes Patreon supporters as well. All kinds of people like devs and Patreon supporters. They generally hang out in this little area here. I like to call it the dev pool area. So if you're looking for a mod, a dev, or something like that, then come to this area. There is a chance they will be there. Just don't bother them, and usually they are AFK. For example, this person here, I was here like 2 hours ago, and they have not moved once. So they generally are AFK or not really interacting with people too much, but they are there. So take of that information what you will, and this is what I like to call the dev pool area. Just a little bit more to the left, to this general area here, this is the FNAF area. There's not really that many here right now. There was several more here, but this whole little section here is the FNAF area. Sometimes it kind of trickles in up here a little bit as well, but generally this whole section right here is dedicated to FNAF fans and stuff like that. So if you're a Five Nights at Freddy's fan and you want to meet up with them, then come to this little spot here. They'll generally be in this whole area. I believe this is some form of one. I'm not 100% sure because I'm not really a big fan of that, but usually they hang out in that spot right there. If we go directly below, we'll see a little section of two different fandoms kind of clashing a lot. So we have, of course, damn, I don't know how to say it, but it's this word. I'll put it up on screen. This fandom likes to hang out in this general spot, as well as other things very similar to it. I think Doki Doki Literature Club is something else that likes to hang out in this spot. Just things specifically similar to that. I don't know why, and I don't know enough about it to confirm fully what the full extent of that is and who all hangs out in this spot, but it seems to be generally those kinds of people that hang out in that spot. And then if we go directly right from that, we'll see a lot of My Little Pony characters, little cosplays of those characters, and fans of that. Sometimes they'll be role-playing, sometimes they'll just be hanging out, all that sort of stuff. It sort of covers up this whole little section here, and it sort of overlaps into a couple of the other zones that we mentioned before. If we go straight up from all of this madness here, past the FNAF area, all the way up here to this very top up here. I don't know what this area is, by the way. Maybe you can tell me in the comments. But if we move all the way up here, we of course have the spawn. Now this place is just purely toxic, usually chaotic, and it's hard to ever really understand what the hell is going on because there's usually an argument or two going on, and usually just kind of stay away from this area if you're not wanting to deal with all of that. But yeah, stay away from spawn because it's very toxic and stuff like that. But if we go directly left from spawn, you'll see a lot of Homestuck characters, I believe is the name of that. A lot of Homestuck characters, and then of course if we go down a little bit more, you'll see Invader Zim characters. So the Invader Zim and the Homestuck characters kind of share a spot, so to speak. They sort of clash and sort of meld together and kind of get blurred between their lines and stuff like that. But of course we have an Invader Zim character here. It's a Zim plushie character. Usually more Zim characters are there, but right now it seems like mostly Homestuck characters are here. But that's what you see in this general area. So let's move on to another spot on the map. If we move all the way to the bottom right of the map, actually, because it's very, very, very far away from that little sector there, the gay pool. Now the gay pool is, of course, this spot right here. It's not gonna be labeled on my fandom map, but it is gonna have a little gay pool art thing on it. So look forward to that. And then of course we go over here. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure likes to hang out in this general area here. Sometimes it overlaps and they sort of get up in this area and stuff like that, but generally you'll see things like Dio's and other JoJo Bizarre Adventures characters sort of hanging out in this spot like this, and that is pretty much it. I think that's like the last spot. This person's been following me for a while. I'm not 100% sure why. I'm assuming they're a fan or something like that. But anyway, that is pretty much it for the fandom map. I don't believe there's anything else on the map really that is like a general location for people. And of course, as you can see here, it's another fenced-in area, and the 800th have taken it over. They've forted it up, so to speak. It's a big fort for them now, and they're hanging out there. So basically, any fenced-in area that you can find is gonna have this. So keep that in mind. That is going to do it for the video. Keep in mind that this whole video was done on the 18+ server, so I don't know for sure how accurate it will be for the PG server or the Chinese server or the Spanish, Portuguese server or any of those other servers. This is just the regular 18+ English server. That is what this is. They're telling me to stop. But there you have it. With all of that said and done, that's going to do it for the video. That is everything that I have so far. I'm going to put up the fandom map on screen right now. You guys can critique it, do whatever you want with this fandom map, share it around, whatever you want to do. But generally, if you want to hang out with specific people, this is the easiest way, the best way to find those people that you want to hang out with. So I do hope that you enjoyed. If you did, please do like, subscribe, share, do all of those wonderful things like that. Because when you do those wonderful things, you get access to wonderful content such as this. But that's not all you get. No, it's not all you get. You also get to become wonderful yourself. And I think we all want that. So do those wonderful things. And until next time, stay wonderful.